Greetings, everybody in the world. We're back. Salute to everybody. All right, this Inside the Huddle, episode 11, spring semester 2018. My name is Randy Asare.
My name is Tim McLaughlin.
And we're back in another episode of Inside the Huddle coming from ODU Studios.
Yeah, it's been a while because we had a holiday break.
Yep. Yeah, we had a real holiday break, so it's been like, a good month that we've been doing the show.
Yeah, we took last week off to get adjusted to our schedule and stuff.
To get adjusted. So now we're back in the ODU Studios in the Web Center. It's been a while since we had a weekly update for the holiday break, like we said, and now it's time to get it going.
Get the groove of things.
Get the groove of things. We got a special guest in the here. My brother, he's been on the show before. Say your names to people, bro.
What's good, everybody? My name is Derek Asare, college student, 21 years old, and just trying to get to Norfolk State University this spring and finish the semester right.
Yep. We gotta have you on, man.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. So first, before we bring you in to do the pro sports and everything, we're gonna move on to the men's basketball. The men's basketball team has been recently wrapping up North Conference play and starting the conference play now. They currently are 14-4 this season with a 5-1 in Conference USA as it just completed the first third of the conference season. The Monarchs started off 3-0 in the conference before falling to a fellow unbeaten Western Kentucky 75-68 at the Concert Center, and there was a lot of fans. I went to the game.
Me too.
It was a game.
It was the most students at any game this year.
This year it was a lot of people. Like I remember going in there and it was so packed. Like people trying to get in these seats, and like I've been a lot of ODU games this year, but this was like the most that I've seen as far as fans just come and support.
It was intense.
So yeah, it was very intense. So I mean they, even though it was a loss, they lost the game 75-68. It was great that a lot of fans came to support our fellow Monarchs, and yeah, man, it was really good. What's his name? BJ Steph. He had a real good game.
Yeah.
I think Rainy Hayes, he played all right, but I don't know. It was a lot of missed opportunity. They played good defensively, but I feel like the Western Kentucky, we
just didn't make enough shots.
We just didn't make enough shots. I remember
the Western Kentucky has a real good team this year.
Has a real good team. Like I remember number 23 for Western Kentucky. I think it was
Justin
white dude.
Johnson.
Yeah, that man was just splashing every shot. Like every time he got the ball.
Even when we were defending him, he still
we had a hand in his face and everything, and it's just like for some reason it was just like this guy could not miss.
Yeah, he killed us last year too.
Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, he's a real good player, and somebody we couldn't really contain him, but I feel like that's really a real learning experience for those guys because those teams are the first two teams in the conference, and that the top two teams in the Conference USA, and they really showed they're both pretty much the best two teams. So
and they both can easily match up in the conference tournament.
Yep, they definitely can. So I think that was a real good learning experience for those guys, and I think maybe the next time they play each other, probably in the conference tournament, I think they will come out on top. So yeah. Also.
But yeah, to me, yeah. Western Kentucky is a Sweet 16 team.
Sweet 16 team?
Well, no. Maybe not Sweet 16, but they can easily get at least a win or two in the NCAA tournament if they make it there.
If that's the case, I think the ODU can do that too. I think ODU has a real good chance of really winning the conference and probably make it to the tournament this year. Because
Western Kentucky has a lot of good wins, and their biggest win is against Purdue, and Purdue is ranked number 3 in the country and have not lost a Big Ten game. So.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, I really think that ODU can, if they can, Kentucky can make it in there. Because ODU can too. Because I think ODU they did match up with them, like when they played not too long ago last week. But I just feel like
to me, ODU just has to put in like a good 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Because throughout the season they put in a good half, a good 15 minutes. But
it seems like they're really they're more of a second half team as far as like ODU. Like
especially once we get into the FIU game from last night.
Yeah.
They were down 22-12, and then came back to tie it and didn't. We're not in a deficit ever again.
Right. I mean, yeah, it was different. I mean, it just seemed like this overall, like especially that first half, they wasn't really. I think they kind of underestimated them a little bit for some reason.
Who?
What ODU did against Western Kentucky. For some reason, it did because it just seemed like they wasn't. Like they didn't really make the shots. They was making a lot of weird shots. Like I think, like Mark Haber, he was putting up good shots, but it wasn't like the shots he usually attempted.
It wasn't the best shots.
Before the game. So I don't know. I think they kind of felt like, because ODU, I don't think they lost a game at home this year.
That was their first loss
in
the conference and at home.
Yeah, so it seemed like for them, I think they felt like, we're good at home. We played against a lot of other good teams like Townsend, like the first to start off the year. They're a really good team, and I think they felt like they could do the same against the West Kentucky team at home as well. So,
but at the same time, you can't win them all.
Yeah, you really can't. I mean, at the end of the day, is none of them's guaranteed as far as games. And
it was a good reality check.
Yeah, most definitely.
Whatever.
Yeah, most definitely. So, and then I think after that game they played against Marshall, and they did come out with a win this time, 82-76. The Thunder and Herd cut a 23-point deficit again to up to 2. I mean, that's one thing I'm saying. Like, they up a lot. They were up by a lot. I remember I didn't go to that game, but I remember seeing it on my phone. Yeah, seeing it on my phone. They was dominated. From what I could tell, they were dominating them. And then I started realizing, they're coming down.
You can't count Marshall out because, the past couple of years, as long as Dan D'Antoni's been their coach, they've had the best offense in the conference.
I mean, you can say that because he's the brother of Mike D'Antoni for the Houston Rockets, his style of play is coaching his offense. So you're always gonna he has a real good offensive scheme, and it showed. I mean, they can put up points with anybody pretty much in that conference. I think they fourth in the conference play right now. Conference USA, Marshall.
Yeah,
I think it's ODU in Western Kentucky, then Middle Tennessee.
Well, it's ODU it's
Western Kentucky right now, right?
Yeah, Western Kentucky is 6-0. Then ODU and Middle Tennessee are 5-1, and then Marshall and whoever else after that.
Yeah. So I just feel like I mean, like I said, they really got a good offensive team.
UAB as well.
Yeah, UAB is a good team too. So I mean, overall, they cut the deficit, like I said, to 2, but then Monarchs end up holding on.
That's to me that's one of our biggest weaknesses. Like when we have a big lead and a lead in general, we have to keep our foot on the pedal. We have to keep on going 100% and make it a bigger lead and not let the other team come back.
Yeah, because you're giving the team more confidence that they can feel like they can beat you and they can make a comeback, and that's what it shows. But I mean, it shows that
because usually, I guess for us when we have a big lead, we tend to relax.
Right. I mean that's pretty much it's like that when you're playing in the college. In college basketball, especially when you're a freshman or sophomore, you feel like you can play with anybody. And you can beat anybody. So when you're up by 20, 30 points, you obviously think, we got this game. It's easy. And then all of a sudden, you come to find out 10 minutes later, you down. Well, you're down by 2 or you're up by 2. So and that's what happened. They were up by 2, but then I think they really Coach Jones pretty much put in their head like, man, y'all were up by 20 points, and this game is. A close game now.
They probably got in their faces.
Yeah, they got in their face, and then they had to wake up, and they end up with the win. I know they were probably not satisfied that even though it's a win is a win, but they know that they weren't supposed to win by 6 points. They knew they were supposed to win by 20 points, like they were up by during the game. So, yeah. But most recently, I think yesterday, ODU played against FIU in South Florida, and they came up with a win. I mean, it was close. They were down, I think, by 10, right?
Yeah, they were down 22-12 in the first half, but they Amali Caver layup and a 3-pointer and a couple other things ended up tying the game.
Right. I mean, Rainey Haynes, he played good. He was I think he had 18 points, 6 for 8.
He probably had one of his best games of his career.
Yeah. I mean, I think they played. He had a great game, I think, early in the season.
I know, but
against Temple, but as far as in the conference.
Maybe his, conference play.
Conference play, yeah, that was the best game. And he played great. I think then they came into the second half. I think it had a 9-0 run.
Yeah, we started the half on 9-0 run
in the second half, right?
And then we were up 50-36, 7 minutes in, and never looked back.
Never looked back. So I mean, it's great. It's a testament that they can play like that at home, and then go to the road and then play like that as well. Even though FIU, they're not really a good team right now. I think they're 8-10.
Yeah, they're 8-10, but they're 2-3, 2-4 in the conference, middle of the pack. But they can compete though because they lost to Middle Tennessee in overtime a couple of games ago.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Then held with us until I guess second half. But
yeah, so like I said, Rainey Haynes, he had a great game. He had 18 points, 6 for 8 field goals, 4 for 5 3-pointers, 6 rebounds in 29 minutes. Also, Amali Caver, he finished with 12 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds with a block and a steal. And Trey Porter had 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 28 minutes. And they played really good. I mean, they had the the advantage in rebounds, shooting percentage, 3-point percentage. And next, they play against Florida Atlantic on Saturday. So go Monarchs. Hopefully, they can come out with a win.
And to me, one of our new strengths is that instead of usually just being like a man-to-man type of defense, we've been changing defenses throughout the game from man-to-man and zone.
Right.
And that's like throwing the other team's offense off. And
Yeah,
that's
true.
been helping us out a lot.
Yeah, man. I mean, they've been pretty much playing really good as of late, and hopefully they can continue on, because I think this is like the best year they've been playing so far since like 2014, 2015 season.
Yeah,
right?
It's their best start in conference play.
Yeah, when they went to NIT, and I remember they were like ranked 25th in the country for like a good week or some change. So hopefully they can, hopefully be a ranked team and play well, do some damage. So before I was going to say before we go to women's basketball, I think we was going to talk about the football, ODU football with Ray Lowry, right?
Yeah, Ray Lowry got selected to play in the East-West Shrine game. Yeah,
Shrine Bowl. I think they said the last player did was Taylor Haneke. He did that. He was the last player to do that.
For ODU.
For ODU to do that. So congrats to him. Hopefully he can go out there and show that he's a really good running back.
And maybe become undrafted in the draft or play professionally somewhere.
I think he has an opportunity. He's a leading, these all-time runner in ODU.
He definitely does. His weakness is he's not that big.
He's not that big, and he's not that durable, I think, as well, right? He gets injured a couple times. Well, last year he did.
Yeah, but
he's not. He doesn't really have the size of a running back counter, but I think he's going to show that. I mean, the stats don't lie. If you put on great numbers like that, you're the all-time runner back in
because he showed
ODU.
up.
He's definitely going to show out. So I think hopefully, like I said, he gets play well in the Shrine Bowl, and
we'll
hopefully
see what he can do.
The scouts can see how
all of that stuff.
Yeah, hopefully the scouts can see how good of a player he is, and maybe get to the combine and all that.
Update you guys later on his endeavors.
Yep. So also we talking about women's basketball.
Yeah. So how about the Lady Monarchs? Everybody, they got their first conference win and just win in general in a long time.
It's been a long time, yeah.
Thursday night at the Constant Center in dominant fashion with a 69-53 victory over the Marshall Thundering Herd, which, isn't too big of a win since Marshall is winless in the conference. But
a win is a win at the end of the day. So
so ODU led by double figures the entire second half, and they were ahead for 37 of the 40 minutes, which is just amazing. And Ashley Jackson led the way with a career-high 20 points and 9 rebounds. And 3 other Monarchs scored in double figures as well. Odegwa and Oigboki with 16 points. Taylor Edwards, 14 points for a third straight game with 10 or more points. And Victoria Morris had 12 points and a career-high 4 assists. And, next, the Lady Monarchs host UTSA on Saturday night at 7 o'clock for Alumni Night. Keep it up, ladies.
Yeah, keep it up. Hopefully they come out with a win. So
next,
Now you going to wrestling?
Yeah, wrestling a little bit. So ODU's wrestling teams had a few matches recently. They topped Chattanooga 20-17 a few Saturdays ago, on last Saturday at the 38th annual Virginia Duels, which is like a pretty big tournament at the Hampton Coliseum where different high schools around the country from Hampton Roads and in the East Coast faced each other, and different colleges just for different competition and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And the Monarchs finished in third place in their division and split their duels 2-2, and they won 6 bouts of the 10. So Michael Mingy made a big decision at 125. Caleb Richardson won as well, and Keenan Carter won. And so we did pretty well. And up next, so our record is 4-4 now overall and 2-0 in our conference. And up next, we take on the Buffalo Bulls tonight at 7 o'clock and dual action. So good luck to them and keep on wrestling hard.
Yep. And you said we doing women's tennis as well, right?
Yeah. So yesterday, also right now is tennis season, and yesterday the ODU women's tennis team they faced off against the UVA Cavaliers, and they won 5 of their 6 single matches
that's good.
beat UVA like 5-2, and so now they're like 3-0 overall, and it's like their first win against UVA ever. So it's pretty cool. UVA's got a pretty good program and stuff. So
yeah, congrats to those guys. Hopefully they can keep going on, keep winning games. So now we're going to be going on to the real stuff, and that's the pro sports. So, yep. Now the conference championship predictions. The conference championship games this weekend is Vikings versus the Eagles on the North and then NFC, and the AFC is Jaguars versus Patriots.
AFC is a championship Sunday.
Yep. Hey, Derek, you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, now we're gonna do some predictions for the this weekend's game. So for the NFC games, who you got winning against the Vikings versus the Eagles? Who you got winning this game?
I'm gonna have to go with Philadelphia because they're at home and they have the advantage. But I mean, honestly, me personally, I want Minnesota to win.
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge fan of the way they play and the chemistry they have. But I just see Minnesota. I see Philadelphia winning because they're at home. They have the advantage. They got the confidence flowing. And if I have to give you a score, I'll probably wouldn't say a high scoring game because both teams can play defense. So I'll probably say like maybe 23-27.
And you have the Eagles winning the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, one thing about them is I like the Eagles. I won't be surprised the Eagles win this game as well because at the same time, even though Carson Wentz is out for the year and Nick Foles is at the helm of it, I mean, I don't really trust Nick Foles. I think I don't think he's that good. So
he's like average. Basically.
He's an average quarterback. I mean, he had one good year with when Andy Reid was there, but I mean, this is a whole different offense, whole different team, whole different players that when he wasn't good there, and I mean, the thing about them is their defense. Their front seven is crazy. Like they really go crazy when they like Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham. They got Michael Kendricks. I mean, they got a bunch of players, underdogs like Jalen Mills. He's a guy that's a lot of people don't really think about, but he's really can play. So
yeah, they go after the ball.
They go after the ball, but at the same time, I think with the way the Vikings play defense, like they had, like the thing about the difference between their defense, like the Eagles defense and the Vikings defense, is that like their whole defense is great. I think Vikings. I think the secondary has the advantage. The
linebackers.
It's just everything. They like when you got the linebackers Eric Kendricks.
Yeah.
And you also got Anthony Barr, who's a all pro Pro Bowl linebacker. You got on the defensive inside with what's his name, Everson Griffin, and I forgot the other dude's name. That 98. That's real good. Then you got Xavier Rhodes. You got Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
You got that right there. And then you got Terrence Newman. Even though Terrence Newman is like 38, 39, he can still play the football. I feel like overall, their defense, their whole front seven is like has the advantage. I mean, the whole defense has the advantage. So I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, I think as defense win championships, and I think if you want to pick who got the better defense, you got to say the Vikings. So I have the Vikings win the game. I think Case Keenum, he's been the real good, a big surprise for the whole league. I don't think nobody expected him to really play the way he's playing.
I mean, both these teams, the quarterbacks started as backups.
They both was at the Rams. I think when Jeff Fisher.
They were both, yeah.
Yeah, they both with the Rams.
So they knew each other pretty well.
They both know each other very well, and they was in the quarterback rooms with them during practice, I guess, and during training camp. So they know each other's strengths and weaknesses. But I feel like at the same time, I think Case Keenum he's had the better overall season than Nick Foles, obviously. So
well, I mean, he's had more practice.
More practice,
he's had
more games.
Time.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
that is true. But I just feel like overall, I think I got the Vikings winning this game. I think it's going to be a close game too because I feel like both defenses really going to play well against the opposing offenses. So I think it's going to be like a 17-13. I got Vikings winning this game. It's going to be a low scoring game.
I also have the Vikings winning this game because although it's in Philadelphia, I feel like the Vikings would. I think it'd mean a lot to the Vikings to
play at the home field.
In the Super Bowl. Play at home in the Super Bowl because that's never happened before.
Nope, that never happened.
So yeah, I mean, like y'all been saying, the Vikings defense is incredible, but you can't count out the Vikings offense with Case Keenum and especially Stephon Diggs. After that,
we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that later.
So yeah, I mean, I just think that the Vikings have more weapons than the Eagles, and well, personally, if the Eagles had Carson Wentz, I'd be picking them.
Yeah, most definitely. If Carson Wentz was still playing, I would probably definitely pick them.
I feel bad for him.
I'll definitely pick them. And but I don't know. I don't know. But you got Vikings win this game.
Yeah, I'm saying 2017.
2017. Okay, yeah. That probably will happen. Now for the AFC games, Jaguars versus the Patriots. Derek, who you got winning this matchup?
I got New England winning.
Yep.
I know that defense is stout from Saxonville, but I mean, it's Tom Brady. I mean, I think he's gonna know. He had enough time to prepare for that defense. He had this whole week. They said something about his hand. It's injured.
He missed practice on Thursday.
Yeah, he missed practice Thursday. They said I think even today he went to the podium like after practice and he wore both his gloves during the little press conference after practice. So a lot of people think it's like some glove gate or hand gate, whatever it is. Like it's pretty much like what's going on.
More than likely, it's not going to affect him that much.
I don't think so, but yeah. Well, go ahead, Derek.
I don't think it's going to affect him though. I mean, I still think he's going to be Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe New England's at home, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's another advantage right there. So, if I had to pick a prediction score, probably like, I don't know, maybe 30-21.
30-21.
Yeah, I don't think Blake Bortles going to put up that much points on. Because New England defense is solid. It's not great. It's not poor. But, I mean, I think they can do enough to stop Blake Bortles.
All right, that's probably true. Yeah, I think I got the Eagles. I mean, I got the New England winning this game too. I feel like their defense was as far as Jacksonville is just crazy, especially their like they say, like you said, it's Saxonville. Like they just go after the quarterback every time. They like you wouldn't think they would do that. Nobody expected that to happen playing against the Steelers.
Most of their guys are young.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Jags versus Steelers game that happened last week, but we can talk about it right now as far as like that game. Like I just felt like the way they played against that O-line, because they got a real good O-line in Pittsburgh with Charlie Villanueva, they got DeCastro, they got Marcus Pouncey, and they were still going after Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger could not stay in the pocket for too long, so yeah, I mean he did have. I mean he put up 42 points against that defense.
They basically almost came back.
Yeah, they almost came back, but I feel like at the same time with the way the flow of the game, they just couldn't stop them. They couldn't contain that defense. So
I thought it was kind of amazing because both of those teams, the Jaguars and the Steelers, are I guess more known for their defense.
Yeah.
And especially the Jaguars because they've had like one of the top defenses this entire season.
Yeah, they're really good.
That was probably one of their best offensive outputs this year. So
you got Calais Campbell, then you got Marcel Darius, you got Malik Jackson, Jalen Ramsey.
So I'm saying, like,
CJ
no one would have guessed it to be a shootout.
Yeah, they got Gibson, they got A.J. Bouye, Telvin Smith. He's an all-pro linebacker. I mean, they just playing really good really good football. So I think, but at the same time, at the end of the day, it's all about experience and who's been playing and really been in the playoffs.
Playoff experience,
and definitely, obviously, the Patriots got the advantage. So I think, with that being said, I got Patriots win this game. I think Tom Brady, even though his hand might be hurt, I don't think it's really going to affect him. I think at the end of the day, like I said, he knows. I know he's going to find a way to, make that defense probably look kind of funny. So I got Patriots win this game 28-17. So what do you got, Tim?
I also have the Patriots winning this game. Yep. I got the Patriots winning 28-20.
Yep, that's cool. I can see that's possible.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, as good as the Jaguars' defense is, I don't see them stopping Tom Brady.
No, me either.
Because
I mean, even though, like I said, you said what?
They'll put some bodies on him, but I don't think it'll be enough.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even if they bring some pressure, I think there's going to be some way or another time Brady's just going to throw the ball away.
He's going to throw it over the top, or he's going to hand it off, even if because he's going to find ways.
He's going to find ways. I think he's going to find ways. He's not going to go deep down the field. He's going to dink and dunk it like he always would. Probably do a little cross routes here and there.
Or trick plays or something.
Maybe a trick play or something just to get them,
It's not going to take him long to figure the defense out.
It's not. I mean, I mean, only team I really seen like Tom Brady be a shell of himself was like maybe back then when the Ravens, when they had Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs and Bart Scott and those guys, or maybe when they played against the Giants during the Super Bowl runs and all that. I think that was probably the only time. Yeah, that was probably the only time I really seen him really like look scared. Like as far as when he get this ball, once he says hike, he gets the ball. He's really like looking for a receiver to throw it to because somebody's going to come at him. I think.
I mean, he doesn't have as much experience as he does now.
Yeah. At that time, at that time he was winning Super Bowl, so he.
Well, yeah, but I mean, now he's like.
Now he's well seasoned in.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So he's well seasoned in. So I think overall, they're gonna find a way.
I see Gronk having a big game.
Yeah, he's gonna have a good game. But I just seen. I just looked at a quote not too long ago. I think I seen on Twitter. Jalen Ramsey was saying about Gronkowski, like Gronkowski never seen a cornerback like me. So
he's already talking smack.
He's already talking junk already. So that in itself, it shows that he's not scared. I mean, and I like that about Jalen Ramsey though. Even though he talk a lot of trash,
he's ready.
You know what I mean? Hey Derek.
Yeah.
Hey, remember with Jalen? We always talk about that in the house when I'm always at home, like with Jalen Ramsey when him and Steve Smith went at it, and then they was like, oh, what happened in the games? Oh, what you think? Like, yeah, what you
it's like a friendly rivalry.
A friendly rivalry. Like, what you think? He's like, oh, like, he's like, you came me after the game. You know what I mean? You tell me who got who had. Like, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
That whole thing me and Derek do was funny, but
it's fun and all until one actually beats the other.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny. Yeah, so yes, Jalen Ramsey. That's one thing about him. Like, he talk junk, but he really backs it up at the end of the day. I know you seen maybe I think after they beat the Steelers, he was saying how
in the regular season.
No, when they beat the Steelers, in the playoffs, and he was at the game. I think at the stadium. I think the Jaguar Stadium. He was guaranteeing they were going to win the game against Steelers, and they was going to go to the Super Bowl. And you said what?
Yeah, he said go to the Super Bowl and win that too.
Yeah, win that. Everybody knows what he said.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to say though. At the end of the day, you're supposed to say, we're going to go play against one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and we're going to beat them. I mean, because it shows that they're confident that they can beat any team in the league, and if you beat against one of the GOATs,
I think whoever I am on any of these other three teams,
right.
I'd want to beat Tom Brady so bad just because he's the best.
He's the best. I mean, he's pretty much the best quarterback ever. So that's from what a lot of people say. So I think more than likely that might happen.
Especially if I was a linebacker, I'd want to take him out so bad.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But I think overall, the Jaguars, they playing with a lot of swagger, but at the same time, it's all about experience. And I think
But so let's think back for a second. Back to that that Stephon Diggs amazing play at the end.
Yeah.
If the Saints had won, how do you guys think?
I would have Saints winning the game. If they had played against the Eagles?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would have Saints winning the game.
And
would have had winning that game. Yeah.
You said what?
Everybody would have had the Saints winning that game.
I think so too. I mean, I feel like also, even though the thing with them is like both teams, like as far as with the Vikings and the Eagles, they only have like playoff spirit. Like they're not there every year. Well, same as the Saints too, but at the same time, you got Drew Brees. He's been in the playoffs. He's had a run.
Really, none of these teams have playoff experience.
I know,
except the Patriots.
Except the Patriots, but I'm saying, but if the Vikings got in. I mean, if the Saints got in, they would have had playoff experience as well because, like I said,
Drew
Brees has been in the playoffs.
He won a Super Bowl.
He won a Super Bowl. He's pretty much been throughout the whole. He knows the playoff experience, the way how to get in the Super Bowl. So yeah, it could have. It could have. So I would have had the Saints win that game.
So say if this so say for the Vikings Eagles, and we're all picking most of us are picking the Vikings to win the game, but of the Saints Vikings game from last week, if the Saints had won, who do you guys think would have the better chance to beat the Patriots, the Saints or the Vikings?
The Saints or the Vikings?
Yeah.
To beat the Patriots, I would have the Vikings probably, because like I said, even because at the same time they have their defense. As far as the Saints got a good defense too, but I just feel like overall like the Vikings defense just was better. It showed though. They had a better year. It showed even now. They didn't win the game. Like let's just talk about last week's game. Like the way that's probably one of the best games I've probably seen in a long time as far as playoff games. Like nobody expected that game. Nobody expected
that finish.
First off, nobody expected the Saints to come back. I don't think when you're down 17-0,
Yeah.
pretty much towards that third quarter.
It was like one of the biggest comebacks ever.
Towards the third quarter, you would never think. I didn't really think the Vikings were going to lose that game when they were up 17-0 during the third quarter.
Because it's more surprising that the Saints came back to make that a game than it was for the Patriots to come back against Falcons.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, but like I said, I just feel like overall, I think their defense, they're the better team. I think as far as with the Vikings, they're a really good team, but nobody expected them to be up 17-0 and then make the Saints come back, and then when they're up 24-23, and then you up it's 10 seconds left in the game. Nobody expected that to happen, you know? Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, I said all you had to do is wrap up and tackle.
Yeah, but I mean, Marcus Williams, I mean, he's a rookie. You know, he didn't. That's what he's supposed to do, but I guess he was scared that.
It was the he was scared for the pass interference.
He was probably scared for pass interference. That's what a lot of people were saying, but yeah, he was scared for that because he was there. He had him, but I think he was scared that they was gonna. Because he was behind them. Because when he called it, he was behind them. So I guess he didn't want to like bat it down,
interfere
it, and then people because more than likely they was gonna call a pass interference call because they're at home. They're not gonna let that slide. The ref's not gonna let that slide.
But at the same time, though, you can't say that the Saints loss was all his fault.
It was not his fault. He had a pick in the game.
Yeah.
So
it was just an unfortunate play.
Oh yeah. Nobody expected that.
I mean, he'll make up for it because he's just a rookie.
He's a rookie. I mean, he's also a good player. He played well throughout this whole year. He's pretty much was the core of that defense for the reason why they even was in that position. So that in itself, it shows that he's a real good player, and I think he will get over it. I think at the end of the day, I think a lot of the because I do follow a lot of Saints fans on Twitter, and a lot of people were supporting him. Even a lot of NFL players in the league that's not in the playoffs right now that were watching the game.
Keep his head up and stuff.
Keep his head up. I think Bobby Wagner was saying. I remember Bobby Wagner from the Seahawks was saying like he had a pick in the game for them to even make a comeback. To start the comeback. So that in itself, it just shows that he's a good player. And they pretty much was telling him to keep his head up. A lot of them supported him. So he's going to be good. I think, and that's great to see that even a lot of fans, even a lot of Saints fans, was supporting him as well. So
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I did not expect that. I mean, when that happened, I was shocked. Like everybody, I mean, I was shocked. So, yeah. So I think as far as with the NFL, we're done. But who you think, like as far as with quarterbacks, Derek? Out of all the quarterbacks? Who do you think
has the most to prove?
Yeah, has the most to prove this week.
Like out of all four quarterbacks?
Yeah, out of 4 quarterbacks, who do you think has the most to prove?
Most to prove? I'll say Blake Bortles.
Yeah. But why do you think so?
I mean, everybody been hating on him, because before the season started, nobody thought he was going to be this good. I mean, he hasn't really played good. I think the defense kind of helped him out a little bit. But most of all, before the season, everybody was making fun of his mechanics and his game. So, I mean, if he can at least get like 3 touchdowns, no picks, or maybe just 1 pick, I mean, I think it will show that he's proving something.
Yeah. I said the same thing. I think I got. I mean, but Blake Bortles, I don't think he has a lot to prove. But I feel like the past 2 playoff games he's been playing really good. So I think he already proved that he's a good quarterback in the playoffs. I think it really is. If it was anybody, I think it's got to be Nick Foles for me because at the same time he didn't really have a really good game against the Falcons last week's game. I think all the quarterbacks that played, like as far as who's in this week's game, like Case Keenum, Tom Brady,
Blake
Bortles and Nick Foles. Out of all of those quarterbacks that played last week, Nick Foles had the worst game statistically.
But, I mean, his defense helped them out.
His defense helped them out, but I feel like this time around, he's really going to be playing against a lot better defense than he did against the Falcons last week. So I feel like he has the most to prove to show that, hey, I can win this game even though Carson Wentz is out. I can still help this team win the game against a top 3 defense in the league. So if anybody, I think I got Nick Foles that has the most to prove.
I was gonna sorry to interrupt, but I was gonna go with Nick Foles too. But then I seen in his recent history, I think he took the team to the playoffs, right, with Chip Kelly.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was just enough. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But even when they played that first game, I think in the playoffs that year when he did took him to the playoffs, he did lose that game.
Yeah, so he didn't take them far.
He didn't take it far, but at the same time, like I said, but he's had success in the league. He had success in the league for only 1 year, but I feel like now we in the now at this point. So I think he has the most improved because at the time, because like I said, this defense is the reason why they playing well so far. I mean, like I said, even look at the Jaguars. Like their defense has pretty much put them in the position to be in this position.
Yeah.
And Blake Bortles hasn't been playing well so far. He hasn't really been playing trash, or he hasn't been playing all right. He's been playing good. He's been playing good enough for them to win games. Same for Case Keenum. Case Keenum has a great defense, but he's been playing well. So he played well last week against. Well, he played okay.
Yeah.
I mean, before that touchdown, he played okay,
Yeah.
But he was the reason why he threw the ball to the open man, and the guy went for the touchdown. So yeah, he's been playing so far great so far.
Yeah. So I also have Nick Foles mainly because after Carson Wentz went down, which is probably the biggest injury to anyone in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Everyone was counting the Eagles out.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone was counting the Eagles out because I mean, Nick Foles isn't the best quarterback. He's a mediocre quarterback, which is why I'd like to see him. It'd be cool to see him lead the Eagles to a victory for Carson Wentz.
I don't like the Eagles, so I'm not going to vouch for that, But
I mean,
but that's you though. I feel you.
I mean, I feel like he has the most proof just because Case Keenum has had the better year.
Right.
Blake Bortles has showed up, whereas Nick Foles, as we've said, didn't really have that good of a game against Atlanta.
Yeah, he really didn't have a good game. So I think, like I said,
and at the same time, it was like the last third or last quarter of the regular season.
Yeah.
So he hasn't had that much time to get ready for the playoffs. So he's kind of just like doing what he can. Whereas, I mean, we know who Tom Brady is and stuff. So I think Nick Foles has the most to prove, but I don't think he's going to prove it.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I think we got consensus on that. Well, me and you got Nick Foles as far as who we think is gonna has the most improved, and Derek has Blake Bortles. Now we're gonna move on to the NBA. The All-Star starters that was announced. Far as with the Eastern Conference, far as the starters on there is Kyrie,
like the LeBron and Steph were the captains.
Yeah,
shows
so they got Kyrie. That as far as Eastern Conference starters is Kyrie, DeMar DeRozan, LeBron, Giannis Kupo, and Joel Embiid. And as far as with the Western Conference, there's who is it? Steph, it's Clay. I mean not Clay. Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Who was the other one? You go ahead. Yeah. James Harden, Anthony Davis, and DeMarcus Cousins. So, as far as Derek, who you think as far as on like either conference, who you think got snubbed as far as who you think deserved to be a starter for the All-Star team?
I'm not really sure right now because I think it's set and I can see why they chose those players. At first I was thinking Andre Drummond, but then I changed my mind on that. So, I mean, I don't think anybody really got snubbed. I was going to say Westbrook, but in the two guards, it's set with Curry and Harden. So, Russ is pretty much a backup for this year. So, I don't think nobody got snubbed.
Yeah, because, I mean, Westbrook has had a good year, but he hasn't had as good of a year as he did, like, last year.
Yeah, but at the same time, even last year, he had a great year. During that time, he was averaging, I think, during that time. But he didn't even start. He didn't even start the what's it called? The All-Star game. So and this time too. But he's pretty much having the same numbers like he did last year. But I think the points is different. Like I think last year he was averaging like 30 points. This time I think he's averaging like 24, 25 points.
But I mean, it's not all on him.
Yeah, it's not all on him. So even that, I mean, he did. I think that's somebody that I like. I know a lot of people think he didn't deserve it. I mean, me and Derek was texting each other last night about because he told me the starters for the team, and when he told me Joel Embiid got a star, I was kind of shocked. I didn't really think, even though I do believe that Joel Embiid is an All-Star this year. He's averaging like 23 and 11 this year, so he's had success. But the man hasn't. I don't think he deserved it because one, his team is like the bottom of the East. Like he's
76ers.
Yeah, they're like a 10th seed in the East right now. They're not playing so well so far, and also the man don't play back-to-back games. Like I seen Charles Barkley say something that was funny. He was like, "Oh, like they're gonna have him probably play, like he's probably gonna practice on Saturday, but then he can't play Sunday because he can't play back-to-back." He was trying to joke around.
Why?
Because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he's still injured. He's still injured
He's still recovering, you mean?
Well, I don't know. He's recovering. I think the team is kind of like taking it slow with him. Like, they're not letting him play back-to-backs. They're not letting him play. They're not letting him practice. They let him because,
I think with his numbers, though, he's ready.
Yeah, but when he's playing, he's been playing good. But I think they want to make sure that he's like they want to take care of his body because the past 2 years he was out for the year. He broke his foot and he had foot problems. And then last year he only played like 30-some games.
Yeah,
and then he was out for the year
been
again.
Injury prone.
He's been injury prone the last 3 years of his career. This year he's really been playing. This is like
so I guess that's understandable. Got to be careful with him. But
you got to be careful with him.
I mean, they are the 8th seed in the East, and they've had a few upsets. Like they beat the Celtics the other night.
Yeah, they played Celtics the other night to beat them yesterday. But Kyrie didn't play that game though. But still, they're still one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference that they beat at on the road. You know.
I mean, I'm not sure who the reserves are. I haven't really been watching the NBA too much. I don't know who got snubbed. But
I mean, as far as the Eastern Conference, I think that's set. Like, I think overall, I think that is the set standard. I think, but I think it's just Joel Embiid is the one that was kind of like iffy to me because those two things. But if it was like I would have had Drummond too, I would have had Drummond be replacing him as far as a starter because the team is in the playoffs are right now. The Detroit would be in the playoffs right now, and the Philly wouldn't. You know,
9th seed right now.
Oh, the 9th seed right now. Who's the 8th seed then?
The Philly's the 8th seed.
I think
no.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, I got him on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought because I remember at first they was like, I guess because they won that game
last night. Yeah.
But I remember before then they was like at the 9th seed or something like that. But at the same time,
they are only one game over 500.
Yeah, so it's close. You know, they're both the same record if you really want to keep it.
Although at the same time, we still do have like second half of the year to go. So
right, yeah, that's true. So. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I think as far as the Western Conference is kind of set in stone. I think a lot of people was kind of shocked about DeMarcus Cousins because you can't have two players like as far as with the Western Conference, they got two players as far as with Steph and KD on there, but they're the number one seed in the West. But you got Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins on the same team, but they're like 2 games over 500. Like they're like 22 and 20 or something like that. So you can't have two players like that.
Maybe they haven't turned it on yet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but. I mean, if anybody, I would have had maybe a LaMarcus Aldridge as a 5, or maybe somebody like that, you know, because he's been playing well since Kawhi Leonard's been out. So yeah, I would have had probably that, you know.
Aldridge is with the reserve, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be an All-Star this year. I think he's gonna be All-Star this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if he would have been the starter because he's been playing really well in Kawhi Leonard's absence. Kawhi Leonard's only been playing like 9 games.
Yeah,
and you know he's out again. Now he's out for indefinitely because his quads are still hurting, I guess. So he's pretty much been playing well. So
Spurs haven't been the same without him.
Yeah, they really haven't. I mean, they're still playing the same. They're playing good still.
I mean, they're playing good, but Kawhi is like
he's their guy. You know,
he's their guy.
But even though he's been out, they've really been playing really well. You know, but they could have. I bet you their record probably been a lot different if he was playing right now, probably throughout the whole year. So now I think. Now that we got that out of the way, the Cavs been struggling so far. I mean, they won against the Magic yesterday, but it was a close game. They only won by a point. One point. I don't know what's going on with the Cavs. You know a reason why the Cavs been struggling so far?
I don't really know. I mean, I have no idea. Maybe the chemistry is not where they need to be at right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they'll get it going. I mean, LeBron James will find a way to get the team going the second half of the season. I mean, they definitely need to make some trades happen, though, to get that rim protection going.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been saying about DeAndre Jordan possibly.
I think they got traded Tristan Thompson for DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, but I think from what I'm hearing, the Clippers don't really want his contract because he's still got like 3 years left and he's supposed to be owed like 15.
The Clippers what?
I think the Clippers don't want his contract.
They don't want his contract.
Yeah, because DeAndre Jordan, he only has 1 year left on his deal. And Tristan Thompson, he got like 2-3 years left on his deal, and it's like 15 to 16 million per season. So I don't think they really want his contract like that. I don't really think they do, you know. So who knows? I don't know.
But I mean, with the struggles that the Cavs have been having, they're still the number 3 seed in the East.
Yeah, but I mean, when you got LeBron James as your player, they should be a number 1 seed and be by far, you know, at least a top 2 seed, you know.
I mean, to me, it's just a matter of time before LeBron takes it to another level.
Yeah, I mean, but he said this. I think he said this year is a lot more challenging because they have instances where they play like this throughout the season.
Yeah, but it hasn't happened throughout his career like this year.
Yeah, like this year is a little different. You know, they're the oldest team in the league. They're I think as far as pace-wise, they're the slowest team in the league. So, you know.
Yeah, so what do you guys think needs to happen for the Cavs and LeBron to get back to the finals?
Like I said, I think they need to start making some trades. Like, I think that's my thing. I think that as far as they need to make some trades as far as what they need to get some points, some scoring in the bench.
They gotta go to State. I think that's their focus. So I think they gotta start playing some defense.
The defense has been trash too.
Yeah,
not gonna outscore them, scoring 120, 125, whatever. So I think if they communicate on defense, I think they'll be fit.
I think that's probably what it is. I think it's just their defense. Even though like you would think, their defense is not good, but their offense has not been good either. Like I think since Christmas, they're 3-8.
Yeah,
they have the worst offensive. They're like the worst offensive team in the league since Christmas, and the worst defensive team.
But they need a true rim protector, though.
I mean, Tristan Thompson he's a rim protector. He can get rebounds, but I think this year he hasn't really been playing like that. You know,
that's what I'm saying. They need someone to like step up and be like their defensive like powerhouse.
Right. Because right now, as far as with their defense, I mean, as far as with their rim protector, like Kevin Love, he's not a rim protector. He's a 4. You know, but they got him playing the 5. You know, if they really need to get DeAndre Jordan. I think that's pretty much the only thing. He's the only one that's available right now that's in the trading block so far. So they need to get a guy like him to really.
I think he's their main hope too, competing with the Celtics and the Warriors. They need to make a couple of trades and change their philosophy, play better defense, play with more energy, and just knock down some shots and see what can happen. Because they really haven't been playing that well.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's what we have. For as far as the Cavs, hopefully, if the Cavs can do that, they probably. I think at the end of the day, they're still going to go to the finals, and they're going to represent the Eastern Conference in the finals. They're going to beat the Celtics in the playoffs, and play against Golden State.
You think they're going to beat the Celtics as of right now?
I think so. I think they're going. I mean, if they can still, I think if both of them play against each other right now, they will beat them. I think because I think at the end of the day, the only person on that team, as far as with the Celtics, that has a lot of playoff experience is Kyrie and Al Horford, maybe, but. At the end of the day, when you got guys like Jason Tatum, they young guys, but
it'll be their first playoff experience.
Yeah, but with the Cavs, they got LeBron, of course. They got
Kevin Love.
I mean, the whole team been in the playoff, the finals, and you got Dwayne Wade too. So yeah, they're gonna be. I think as far and then like we said, it's when the NFL, with the Jags and Patriots. We feel like the Patriots will win that game.
It's a complete contrast with playoff experience.
Because it comes to playoff experience and the way you play, and I think. The way the Cavs play, they got more playoff experience than the Celtics do, so I think they will win that game.
To me, it's about who has home court advantage.
Yeah.
I have it going 6 games.
If they do play each other, and who we got winning? Boston?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a later episode.
Yeah, later. Once the playoffs start, we'll talk about that. But right now, I think the mid-season, Derek, who you guys as far as like. If the season ended right now, who do you think is going to be MVP of the league?
MVP, I'll go with Kyrie, but I haven't really thought about it. It's going to be hard to decide because there's a lot of injuries from star players.
Yeah. So
it's hard to decide who's going to win MVP. But right now, I'll probably say Kyrie, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I got LeBron for some reason because LeBron, even though. Their team has been iffy this year.
He always steps it up.
Yeah, he steps it up. But the thing about him is like he's averaging like 26, 25, and 8. He's shooting like 58, 59% from the field.
So
he's shooting like 42% from 3-point range. Like the man's been playing good. So.
And also, he needs 25 more points until he's the youngest player to get to 30,000 points.
Yeah, and they play against OKC tomorrow, so it's more than likely he's going to get that tomorrow. So. Yeah, 30,000 points, and he's only 32 years old or 33 years old.
I think there was some predictions. He would have to play until 2019, 2020, or something like that at this pace to become the leading scorer.
Of all time?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I don't know if he's gonna play that long.
You said 2020. That's 2 years from now. I think.
You're right.
But I don't know. I think he's probably gonna be playing until he's 30. I think he want to play 20 years in the league because he came into the league at 18.
Yeah.
So he might play when he's 30. He probably would finish 38 maybe. But I think by that time he will definitely. He had like 5 more years left, so at that time he probably would do that. So he probably will get to that milestone. So we'll see. But
that should probably be easy for him.
Yeah, so I think I got LeBron probably. If the season ended right now, I have LeBron. Who you think, Tim? Who you got?
I got LeBron as well.
Okay,
but at this point in time, I don't have enough evidence to say anybody really, just because no one has stuck out to me. No one has stood out. But I think that LeBron, like numbers you've been saying, he's been astronomical numbers. I think he's gonna lead them to take the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I think so too. So
and they should, if they get DeAndre Jordan or if they make a trade to get somebody, they should get back to the finals, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens from there. So
because they were on first take, like saying like it's like what LeBron will be remembered for when all is said and done. Yeah.
I think I've seen that too.
Yeah, so it's like I mean they were saying he's gonna be like top 5 all time, but
yeah. I mean if he's retired right now, he's top 5.
I know, but he's had so many finals losses though.
Yeah, I think that's the real like asterisk on his resume as far as NBA careers, that he's 3-7 or 3-6 or something like that in finals. So I mean, yeah,
he's at least got to win 2 or 3 more or so to at least be compared to Jordan.
Most definitely, yeah, definitely, yeah. Go ahead.
Kevin Durant was in a conversation as well.
Yeah, Kevin Durant's in the conversation too. I've seen a lot of people say him as well, that he's been playing really good.
But I mean, he's not talked about as much just because he has other pieces. Like,
I mean, when you got Steph and
Klay
Draymond
Thompson,
and Klay Thompson playing, then I think a lot of people won't really give him that conversation. And
more or less be MVP for the whole team.
Yeah, the whole team, yeah, because of that, because he's playing with a lot of great players. Like probably if top 20 players in the league. If you have the top 20 players in the league, you pretty much got Steph, KD, and Draymond in your list. So, and then you got, I mean,
it's the Warriors are going to be number 1 on their like players, but
yeah, that's true. So. Yeah, I think we got that as far as with the mid-season MVP.
And we'll make a more accurate prediction once it's closer to into the regular season.
Yep. So now it's like the other thing, there's been a lot of suspensions, a lot of scuffles, a lot of catfighting.
Yeah, and the Rockets-Clippers game, the Rockets players going in the Clippers locker room after the game.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy what was going on over there. I think, I think it's just shocking, like all that was going on. I mean, the one thing about Trevor Ariza, like from what people say about him, like he's really one of those guys. Like if you really get in a fight with him or something like that, and you tell him like, "Oh, see me after the game," he will really see you after the game. Like he's not. People just say that just to say it, but he's really about that life. You know what I mean? So for him to really
that, it takes a lot.
Really take his word and really say, hey, you was talking all that junk. I bet we're gonna see you after the game and see if you got that same energy and look what happened. Gerald Green and him and Chris Paul and James Harden, all those guys was over there. But
to me, I think that the refs have to get the games under control.
Oh yeah,
because it's getting out of hand.
It really is. I mean,
with all of just the arguments and the mid-game scuffles and all of this stuff. So
I mean, but yeah, because I think that nobody's gonna fight. These guys,
they do it for entertainment.
They do it. I think they're just doing this to show. They're trying to act like they tough, but at the end of the day, they're not gonna do nothing. They ain't about nothing. So
because really, at the end of the day, they're still gonna be friends. They're still gonna be cool.
These guys are gonna talk after the game after it hits 0. These guys gonna dab each other up and act like ain't nothing happened.
Yeah, they're gonna be laughing like, see how many likes we got on the picture of us fighting.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it is. So, but
I heard like Trevor Ariza was the one who was really gonna do something. I heard the other players wasn't.
Yeah, that's why I think why they said Chris. That's why they said Chris Paul and James Harden didn't get fined or get suspended.
But Trevor Ariza let it.
Gerald Green, Trevor Ariza and Gerald Green both got suspended 2 games before that because they said they were the ones that was really like initiated to go to the locker room. But they said Chris Paul and James Harden really trying to be the peacemakers, really trying to like make those guys get out of the get out of the locker room and try to like calm them down. You know what I mean? But a lot of people was shocked like why Chris Paul is the one because he's like. He's the president of the Players Association.
Oh, he is, yeah.
He's a player. Yeah. So they were like, why a guy like him with that title out here trying to fight and trying to go in.
It wouldn't be good for his reputation.
Yeah, reputation. Like he's not qualified to be having that position when he's out here initiating fights and going to people's locker rooms and the other opposing team's locker room is a lot older, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you gonna say, Eric?
I just say it's a bad look.
It's a bad look. Yeah, it's a bad look. So I know a lot of players, a lot of analysts and all those guys was really like shocked, like, oh, like why is he doing that? He's a part of the Players Association. They just give him a bad reputation on his name. For like people were like he's not even qualified to be in that position, you know, to be even on that. So
yeah, I mean there was a couple other games where it happened too, right?
I forgot Aaron Aflalo, him. Aaron Aflalo was out there swinging. He was trying to, he really tried to fight, and then the man swung and he missed so bad, like it's terrible. And he got suspended 2 games as well. So there's been a lot of crazy fights going on. I mean, I think the Wizards played against the Hornets, and Michael Carter Williams was trying to get at Jason Smith, and they both got ejected, and it's just a lot of like WWF stuff going on.
Yeah, WWE, it's been crazy.
It's been a lot of crazy stuff going on. So
hopefully they get it under control.
They gotta get in control. So hopefully they can get that out of the way, and they just play basketball, because I think we just trying to win. They just trying to win the games. Both teams in any sport, they just trying to win.
They just want to win and move on.
Want to win and move on. If you
they
lost,
don't want
no
hard emotions and all this stupid stuff.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, a lot of these guys, there are some players that really like are about that action. Like they really like they ain't scared of nobody. I think a lot of people say like Zach Randolph or like Kendrick Perkins back in the day, Kevin Garnett. Like these guys like really was like gonna see you after the game. I remember even Carmelo Anthony, when him and Kevin Garnett was going at it during that time, and like after the game, he really like. Carmelo went to the
other locker. Yeah.
No, he didn't go. I think he went to the Boston's the bus. Like he went to the bus and like really was waiting outside
excessive.
The bus and was waiting for Kevin Garnett to come out the locker room so he can see if he got that same energy. So, right, that in itself it showed that he wasn't scared.
Some are more into it than others, I guess.
Yeah, most definitely. So, I think so far we good, right?
I believe so.
You believe so? I think we're done. It's been a long time since we've done this show. I kind of felt like, I'm kind of a little rusty with this whole doing the show thing. It's been a long time we've been doing this podcast. So.
Yeah, I guess we'll get back in the hang of things.
Yeah, we're just getting the hang of things. So it's good to be back here doing the show. You know what I mean? Hey, Derek, appreciate you having you on the show, man.
Thank y'all.
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah,
see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon, bro. So I think so far, thanks everybody for listening to Inside the Huddle.
For our first show in a while.
It's been a show first in a while. We'll be back here next week, around the same time doing the show. And like I said, please listen again next week as we bring to another ODU and professional sports update. So until then, go Monarchs, everybody.
Go Monarchs.
Let's get it.